Oh god, I was dying. Oh god, we're back. Okay. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our second match. Our second match of the night. Just needed a little bit of extra time here to get our readers going and to get our players ready for this. Raring and ready to go, I should say. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Dragon KZ Gaming. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Chinese Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing the Starving Camels, SSLT. It is Cyan. Here we go. Sorry, I was just I probably shouldn't have eaten. So I was quickly grabbing some. Oh my god! I was quickly grabbing some food. I ordered some spicy Korean fried chicken, and it probably isn't the best thing to eat while I'm casting because, you know, it's spicy, but it's nice. It's good. it's good food, papi. Just need to make sure my throat is good for this. And for Dark, he's gonna be going for a proxy hatchery. So this is just a delay. This is just to disrupt the economy here, delay the expansion of Cyan as much as possible. Meanwhile, back at home, Dark going for a hatchery of his own into a gas, into a spawning pool. So kind of a delayed hatchery here from Dark, but overall an economic build. He's not going all in by any means. This is again just to delay the expansion, just to disrupt the economy, to be a nuisance here with Cyan. Even forces out 2 Zealots, forces out a second gateway, a full wall off his, what would soon be a full wall off with the units. And this is going to give Dark quite an edge here in the early game, at least potentially an edge. There's always a chance that Cyan could try to catch his opponent off guard. As we do force a cancel on the hatchery, it does not complete. Up! And we should not get another hatchery up and running. There we go. Expansion is finally going to be thrown down, but very delayed. And this is what I was referring to. Now we have potential. Cyan, he's moving out with 2 Zealots and with 2 Adepts. Drone tries to come back in, but last will be denied. And again, we have an abundance of units available here for Cyan. Dark, what does he have at home to defend? We have a Queen. A couple of Lings are on the way as well. It's going to be a tight hold, and Cyan, he's going to be looking for some drone kills. He's looking for some economic damage. Here we go. We are rocking up. Oh! So far, the drones are going to be kept alive. Looks like one of them may be focused now. We do commit to the shade into the main base. 1, 2 drones will fall. Good damage here from Cyan, but the Zealots likewise being cleaned up. They take down another drone. Oh, Mr. Queen. 4 workers here for 1 Adept and 2 Zealots. Not too bad. And you know what? More Adepts have arrived. Cyan, he throws down a proxy gateway within range of Dark's Overlord, so he knows. Oh, and he takes down the Queen. Cyan, he wants to try to snowball out of control. Link speed still not quite done. Cyan forced to back off. Meanwhile, back at home. We had a gas steal. You love to see it. That's a 4th gateway on the way. So 4 gateways on 2 bases. Quite aggressive here from Cyan. The Lings are going to surround her. And we haven't quite warped in. Dark catching this army off guard. Getting another wave of Adepts. Only 3 left. Gonna have to go for another warp in. Back at home, we warp in a Stalker defensively back at home. We do have a wall for now. And Cyan is still trying to keep the pressure up. He's still trying to cripple the economy here of Dark. Of course, this position quite vulnerable. Cyan, he doesn't want to lose this gateway and force it to be depowered. Waiting for another warp in. Likewise, Dark's just making more Lings back at home. He's not droning. Mass Lings here instead. As Dark attempts to take a 3rd base here towards the linear location. A very exposed 3rd, very difficult to hold on to. Cyan is heading this direction. As he moves out, Dark is moving in, diving on that pylon, depowering this gateway. But do we care? Does Cyan care? As we do get a depower, and we're going to keep on pushing, but there are just so many Lings available. How many? We have 38 Lings! Oh my god. We could try to force a cancel here. Really good positioning from these Adepts. Very nicely done here by Cyan. The Lings, they have to push on forward, and this will not be a good trade for Dark. He is working his way through. He gets one Stalker, gets the second. Forces the Shade, and Dark will hold on to that base. Third base is saved. The Gas Geyser eventually will fall as well, as the game will settle from here. Okay. We're easing into it, but we've had a wild start to the game. Dark is pretty far behind. His drone count is in the gutter at the moment. It's not looking too good. Dark has a lot of droning. He's got a lot of droning to do to catch up. Lings, they come in for another engagement, but this is not a good position for Dark once again. He gets 2 Adepts for so many Lings. I'm afraid to look. 57 Lings have gone down. Ay. Meanwhile, back at home, Dark, he's just droning as hard as he can. Behind this, Cyan, his tech of choice is going to be a Robo, a delayed Twilight Council, rushing into +1. Interesting. So with a delayed Twilight Council, this could be for a more tech-heavy composition to go into a third base, but no, never mind. We're just shading across the map. Cyan, he wants to keep the pressure on. He doesn't want Dark to stabilize. I don't blame him. Dark, he's a terrifying player. He wants to kick him while he's down. Dark is still down. Roaches are coming out just in time. War Prism has arrived, and Cyan is going straight for the main. Straight for the main base. +1 about to kick in. Still a couple of seconds off. Charge behind this. Okay. Do have my attention. War Prism slips into the main base. There are Queens though. Yeah, they focus down the War Prism. Lings arrive as well. While the Adepts, they threaten the third base, but they don't quite get any damage done. And Dark, he is slowly stabilizing. Cyan finally throws down a third base. Very delayed third. Oh, as he commits to the shade and we get a full surround. Darky catches the Adepts, cleans them up. And now Darky has map control. He can actually go for a big counterattack. This third base, Cyan, can he hold on to it? He's getting in position. He has his Immortal. He has his Sentries. Sorry, I'm just sneezing. It's blowing my nose. But he will be able to hold on. Again, especially with these Sentries, we have plenty of force fields available. We're building up our Immortal count. We got +2 on the way. Charge as well. And Dark is confirming this. He just wants to make sure that there's no Sky Toss transition or double Robo Colossus. Dark just trying to get a read on what is going on. But this is just a really quirky game overall. Just very quirky. Very out of the norm. Just because of the openers. And Dark, he's going to be droning up to 52. He's going to be cutting saturation here. Even sub 3-base saturation, actually. He's moving across the map with nothing but Ling, Roach, Ravager. His goal, to break the third. Now, we do have a lot of Immortals. We have a lot of Sentries as well. But we have Ravagers to deal with that. This base can still be broken. It's not going to be easy, but possible. Here we go, we're luring Cyan out into the open. A lot of force fields are being spent here as a result, and we're breaking through the Zealots. We're getting on top of the Sentries. Force fields are falling one after the other, and Cyan, he just doesn't have enough here. He doesn't have enough to really protect this. I mean, good juggling, to be fair. Really good juggling out of Cyan, saving those Immortals. Dark is being forced back. Didn't quite get on top of those Immortals the way he wanted to. And he's droning. Oh my god. Dark is droning. He throws down a Hydrogen. He accepts defeat here. I say defeat. He accepts that he cannot break this base. He accepts that he cannot kill Cyan. He's not going to try and die trying. He's going to transition out of this. Head into Hydras. Head into Lurkers. He does arrive once again, looking to time on this army, forcing out a lot of force fields once again. We are running out of force fields. This time we do get on top of the Sentries.
Good trade from Dark. 3, 4 sentries going down. An Immortal as well. Dark, once again, he doesn't quite have enough to break this position, but this was well worth it for Dark. He almost resets the sentry count. Only 2 are left. 6 sentries went down. And at the same time, Hydras. Hydras are coming out. We're getting our 4th base up and running. We're fully saturated on 3. We're at 60 workers. Getting our gases going, and yeah, Darky's just working on that next step. Cyan is as well. He's working on +3 and even working on a Templar Archives for Storm. These are good things, but the reality is that Dark should be hitting first. Dark has momentum going his way. He should be moving out in a couple of moments, actually. And Cyan, he's trying to defend here with almost a purely Immortal-based army. He has 6 Immortals. That's that. Oh god, that's a lot of Immortals, Papi. That's a lot of Immortals. Not like this. Here we go. We're going for a drop on the right-hand side. Dark peeling off an army here, looking to deny any kind of 4th base. And Dark, I'm surprised we're not working towards an infestation bit and towards a lurker den. He's just staying on Roach Hydra for now. Very interesting composition. Storm isn't done yet, but that's a lot of High Templar. That's a lot of potential for Storm. There we go, just before it finishes. Oh my god. Files will connect. Storm still needs a couple of seconds. The roaches are coming from behind. We get the full surround. This time there is no war prison. There is no escape. The storms are thrown down. Just barely in time. And Cyan holds. Oh my god, those storms were insane. It's almost purely Immortal once again. But we're breaking through. And now Cyan has momentum. Dark just threw away a lot of his army. He didn't just throw away roaches, he threw away a lot of Hydras as well. That was quite an expensive loss for Dark, and Cyan, he maintains his army. I think he's lost 1 Immortal this game, 2 Immortals. He's lost 2 Immortals this game. All the others, they've been preserved over time. We have more High Templar for more Storms. Cyan, he's been trading so well. He has a 4th on the way. He does need a 4th, to be fair. It's something that he has been denied. But when it comes to these fights, Dark has been very wasteful. And he's just now getting a good economy. That's the problem here, is that Dark, his economy has been very subpar. So these losses, they've been costly. You know, they take quite a lot here to replenish. But now we're up to 70 workers. Much more stable here this time for Dark. +1 carapace on the way. I believe still no infestation, but there it is. Finally, it's thrown down a very late pit. And now Cyan is pushing out. Show us the storms. Oh my god, and they're looking pretty good. 2 good storms to start things off. The other, more of a zoning storm here on the right-hand side. Just doing what they can. Cyan does have to be very careful with how he engages. More High Templar on the way. Charge lost the buffer. Another run on the right-hand side. The Hydra's going for their own counterattack. Likewise, so is Cyan. Pushing in. Do we recall back home? That is the question. Or do we commit to a base trade? Hatchery will fall. It looks like we do want to retreat. We do want to try to make it back home. But Dark, he beats us there. He's already at the 3rd base. This Nexus is going to fall, and Cyan is not going to be able to save anything. He wants to try to engage with the Hydras, and he can maybe take a fight, but Dark, he's just get the hell out of here. Gets 14 kills, 16 probe kills. Storm catches the tail end of the army. Once again, not the best storms available. Up! Cyan just trying to be a little bit cheeky, gets caught out. And at this point, Cyan's pretty all in. Cyan, his economy, it's non-existent. He's down to 39 workers. He's been a little bit wasteful with these storms as well. I do feel still has a couple left. Still does have a couple of swords remaining. And this army is still quite beefy. And we ignore the hatchery, we just keep on pushing. But Cyan, he's running out of steam, running out of forces. Good storms though. Good storms, but here we go. The Hydras, they collapse on this army. There's no more High Templar left. The Immortals fall, the Archons as well, and Dark is going to be looking to take game number 1. It wasn't easy. It was not an easy game, but GG. And Dark will take a lead in this series. GG, well played. And Cyan making him work for it. That was not an easy game for Dark. Time and time again, Dark, he tried to go for these committed pushes and kill Cyan over and over again. But Cyan, he weathered the storm. He was looking pretty good. Looking pretty damn good. He was actually up in army supply towards the end as well. Just unfortunately was forced into a base trade. He lost his 3rd base. There was no turning back. We had to commit. And over time, Dark was able to muster up a large enough army to surround, to clean him up. And now we get into game number 2. Número 2. Did you have cake for your birthday? I did not. I did not. I did not have cake. I didn't really have time. I think I mentioned this before, but so for my birthday, I was casting until from the previous day until like 7 a.m. in the morning. We can talk about it later. So here we go. We're getting into game number 2 and sporting in the top left-hand corner of Hardlead. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Gaming up in this series 1-0. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Chinese Protoss. Not looking too bad in the last game. Definitely having a fight in him. Representing the Starving Camels SSLT, it is Cyan. Here we go. And so far this time, the openers are a lot more standard. This time, Dark is going for a hatch first. Going to be denied the natural and forced to take one of the 3rd base locations instead. Likewise, Cyan going for a gate expand. So this time everything is looking normal, but we're good. But yeah, I started casting the day before. I think I finished casting at 7 a.m. And then we went to bed. We went to bed, papi, and then we woke up, and then we casted some more. All the casting, papi, all the casting. I think it was the night before. Yeah, we were casting WTL, and we stayed up a little bit longer into ESL Masters, and then we had our ESL Masters cast as well. So just bed and cast over the weekend. I think I made a tweet about it. I made a tweet like it was a really bad time to have a birthday just because it's ESL Masters winter. It's the ESL Masters like winter month. So we're quite busy with casting, quite busy with work. So yeah. No cake. Maybe tomorrow. we'll see. Maybe tomorrow. Yeah. As we are getting into this, what I did have though, for my birthday, I did have ceviche. Which is of course my favorite Peruvian dish. Did have ceviche for my birthday for dinner. It was good. It's beautiful. It's amazing. Ceviche and Inca Cola. Ah, it's all you need, papi. All you need. And yeah, so far here we go. We're just getting into our openers. We have a 3rd hatchery on the way. Going to be joining up our natural. Nothing too out of the ordinary. It's important to point this out just because game 1 was very aggressive. You know, we had Dark going for the proxy hatch, going for the hatch block, I should mention, going for the gas steal, and really forcing an awkward game. And yeah, game 1 was very awkward. It was very offbeat and off balance. But here we're getting into something more standard, and I'm sure Cyan is going to be feeling a lot more comfortable in game number 2. Going to be going for a Void Ray first. Now the Void Ray is going to be hunting down these Overlords. There are a couple of Overlords out exposed on the map that we could go for. Obviously there's one here at home, but Cyan, he is indeed rallied to this Overlord to hunt it down and to hide the follow-up. And the follow-up could be a couple of different things. It could be into an Oracle, into a third base, into a standard game. It is true. There it is. Oracle's on the way. We could even go for a Twilight Council without a Forge, and that would be Glaive Adepts. Glaive Adepts is a common follow-up here after denying the scouting. We could throw down a Fleet Beacon and a Stargate for double Stargate production. But on hard lead, that's ill-advised. This map has a very short rush distance. It is very common to all-in as a Zerg player on this map, so being too greedy is not really the best thing to try and do here on hard lead. Third base is being taken. There is that Twilight Council, and I don't see a Forge. Oh, no, there we go. I didn't see a Forge. Now I do. Now we do. So a little bit disjointed, but it's on the way nonetheless. Should be for +1 and either charge or blink. We'll see which one we go for as the Oracles are moving across the map. Well, relatively early lair though. That's a 4-minute 30 lair timing here with the Roach Warren. But we aren't going for an Evo Chamber. Makes sense. So no plus on melee. Just gonna be Roaches. Just gonna be Roaches from Dark. Likewise, Ling's going to be moving out, getting an eye on any kind of fresh expansion. Getting an eye on what Cyan is up to. So Lings are forced back. Void Ray trying to find a way into the main, but Queens are in position. Dark is ready for it. There's that Evo Chamber on the way. The Evo Chamber is a little bit late, but I mean, I say that's just because we're not going for a Ling heavy composition. It is mainly Roaches, mainly Roach Ravager, into, I imagine, Hydras later on. That's why the Evo Chamber is a little bit later than normal. We do have our first wave of Roaches coming in just to be safe. Gas is being taken, fully saturated here on 3 bases. We are going for melee, actually. Okay. Interesting. We are still going for plus on melee. That means this is going to be Ling Roach Ravager. This can become Ling Bane Roach Ravager as well, if we do go for the Baneling Nest. It has fallen out of fashion a little bit just because of the nerf to the Baneling, just because they're no longer one-shot workers. And, oh, actually, Dark. I was wondering, he took all of his gases and he didn't start Roach Speed, so I was very curious. I was very concerned. I was like, wait, what are we doing? Well, now I know what we're doing. We're going for Mutas. Namutas, Namutas. Dark, he loves Mutas in ZvP. Whenever he can get away with it, he will go for Mutas in this matchup, wherever possible. Void Ray is on the 4th base. Meanwhile, back at home, and we've been focusing a lot on Dark. Cyan, he's just getting into a standard build. His tech of choice was Charge, not Blink. So Charge Lot should be Charge or Archon. Double Robos on the way. This is a good thing for Dark. Cyan is being very tech heavy. He's going double Robo, 4th base, should be going into a Robotics Bay after this, into either double Colossus or double Disruptor production. Because of all this, Cyan isn't pushing soon. Cyan, he's not pushing anytime soon. There's no Warp Prism, there's no way to reinforce. Zealots are moving out to harass, yes, but there is no big committed attack, which means Dark is getting away with the Spire. There's nothing to really threaten Dark. Spire is in production, 8 Mutas on the way. That is more than enough to one-shot workers. And behind this, Dark is working on Roach Speed. So he's making Mutas only to harass, and oh my god, this base takes a lot of hits. Oh. Getting very low. Shen's Fuse will barely keep it alive. Just barely. But again, the Mutas, they are just designed to cripple the economy. They chase down the Void Ray as well. Oh, as it will not get a kill on that hatchery. Immediately, Phoenixes are on the way. Phoenixes, cannons. Dark, he was forced to reveal himself a little bit early. A little bit premature over reveal because of the Void Ray. So Cyan, he has time to react. Stalkers are warping in, but probes are still falling. Oh my god. Oh, something was in my throat. But probes are still falling. 10, oh my god. 10, 11 workers going to be going down. 13, oh, we're not stopping. We are not stopping. 15, 16 probes. 7, 20? Can we get up to 20, Papi? 17. 17 for now. An entire mineral line goes down. And this was only for 8 mutas. Behind this, Ling, Bane, Roach, Ravagers coming out with +2 melee, bailing speed on the way. Dark is getting ready to just roll over this this fourth base location. Got a lot of charge lots, so we have some immortals. No pay. Just straight up immortal production, and here we go. Dark, he wants it, Papi. Bailing speed just now kicks in. Force fields are okay, but there's only 1 sentry. Not enough force fields to throw down. The Bailey's a run past the army. They go straight for the charge. They take them down instantly. And this fourth base is being broken. 16 more probes go down. We may not get the Nexus, but we did trade damn well here against everything else. The Immortals doing what they can. The overcharge, even trying to keep everything alive, but it is not enough. The Nexus will fall. Meanwhile, the mutas are still not cleaned up. Baileys are rolling in. No! The Baileys, they crash in 33 probes. Oh my god. As Cyan is just being pulled apart, the mutas did create an opening. They allowed Dark to snowball out of control. The army was pulled apart, the economy was crippled, and then Darky would come in with his ground force as well. This is the Dark we know and love. Behind this, no more mutas. We're getting into Hydras, into Lunker play eventually. Cyan, at this point, he may just be all in. Yep. He cannot turn around. He cannot save his base. It's all or nothing for Cyan. He's just setting everything across up. It's his only chance. And even then, it's a slim one because Dark is maxed. He is maxed out. Cyan moving across the map, getting on top of one of these bases, getting on top of the third. Meanwhile, Dark, he busts into the natural and the third base. He's coming back home. He knows it is safe to do so. As he races back home and up. He gets an Immortal. Gets an Immortal in the end. And yeah, there's just not enough here. This army is looking so fragile. So fragile to us around. The force field doing what they can, but Dark, he collapses on this army. There's nothing left. GG gets called, and Dark will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the semifinals. GG. GG, well played. A very strong game there out of Dark. He was in control almost the entirety of that game. Game 1 was more back and forth. Game 1 was more dynamic between both Dark and Cyan, and there were moments where Cyan almost won. Here in game 2, Dark, he was in control here. Cyan was being a little bit tech heavy, being a little bit greedy. Dark took note of that, went for the Spire, got away with the mutas, and that eventually snowballed into just pulling apart his opponent and picking away at the economy, the army, the bases, bit of everything. GG. GG, well played, and congratulations to Dark as he does advance on. My condolences to Cyan. He did well for himself, did very well for himself, taking down Estrella earlier, and even in game 1 against Dark, Cyan did not look bad at all. But with that, Dark advances on, and we have some catching up to do. We have a lot of catching up to do. !B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back of yourself.